forget. I'll let you go when you turn to gold.
Wild Eyes. What a song.
That song's a trip.
Dude, I actually might be like one of my favorites of recent times. Like, that song's fucking amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a trip to listen to.
It is. Because like at times it feels like this stripped back acoustic song, but there's like so many more textures, doubled vocals, drones, like some ambient drums. Like it does a whole lot for a song that feels so stripped back. How did that come together? Like it's crazy.
So I wanted to save this tidbit till I had more songs kind of under my belt.
Sure.
Or an idea of a more specific release. But this was the first song I wrote after starting therapy.
Oh.
And I kind of had this little selfish, I can't hold anything to myself. I always got to share it.
Yeah.
I had this idea of like writing a song every week coinciding to my session over what I learned. And then that turned into, I couldn't do that because I was spending the time after the session working on a song.
Right.
But I lined up myself to have some kind of, I would have a routine schedule of therapy and then either a walk, weather dependent, or a creative time. I would write after therapy. I still write after therapy. I write a lot. I talk about what we talked about because I wanted, there's some times where I forget certain things we talked about, but it's good I have it all notated and it's just like references of things to check out or things to think about or practices or meditations or anything. And I'm really proud of myself for keeping up with that because, in 20 years from now, let's say I'm in therapy or I'm out of therapy, I have all this somewhere. It's like logged, or if it really meant something to me, I've been working on it. Like you kind of connect that thing to you.
Yeah, it's like a documentation of like life lived in a sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. This song was the first. This was before Emery.
Okay.
I worked on this one, but the reason Emery came out first was because it was more cohesive and I was just like, not lazier about it, but it was easier. It was just like, all right, this is what it is. This one I knew I wanted it to have.
You wanted to produce it a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to go for that Phoebe Bridgers style production on it.
Yes.
Where there was strings and emotion, and I wanted this to be my first at-bat of a mix, and it was.
Yeah.
It like claimed to be.
And it plays out. Like it I think the learning process of production, it shows that arc where it's like, oh, you utilize the skill set that you learned in this for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't making a 2-minute first chorus type deal. I wanted that original guitar track I was going along with where it just stops and I just play this random riff. That was all just one like demo thing that I was like, fuck it. Yeah, go along with it. Yeah. Let's see what I could pile onto this. And just with my experiences of recording, like play into what certain things need and what like could fit there. Began with the verse and the chorus. Once I had that, I was playing with that chorus where I move from the B minor to the C minor. Mm-hmm. I go up a whole step and the melody still works under it. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. It's like, that's beautiful. This one, I also remember it being, I got out of therapy. I went for a walk. I came home. I took a piss. And I was like, as I was pissing, I thought like Wild Eyes. Like, so lame. I sound like a boomer. But like,
no, it's cool.
I'm just like, all right, that sticks with me. Like, what else we got? So then I start playing on the guitar. And then there's a whole thing where the way the A chord is kind of phrased differently, and then that changes. You'll see it in the way I play it. It's not like a straight up A chord. It's like it kind of stretches out and falls into these higher voices. Yeah,
you're revoicing a few times throughout. Like it creates new textures for like the context of that A. Yeah, Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-chord progression, but it sounds like a 4-chord progression because I
Yes.
keep changing the way that A is like laid out with the higher parts.
It emphasizes different parts for sure.
Yes. So verse, and then I felt this need to just, for instead of a second verse adding more to the story, kind of stripping back that first verse, because I don't think it's a story as much as it is a poem.
Yeah, it
Like
feels
a very
like a poem.
self-reflective poem. I still can't tell you what it actually means.
Yeah.
If I dissect it, it probably has something to do with kind of hope and freedom and thinking you're doing things right, but you understand you're part of a learning experience. You understand that not everything's going to pan out right type deal. And you're seeing through others, they might think they're doing the right thing, and they might tell you you're doing the wrong thing. But we're all here in some learning mechanism, and we're all figuring it out.
Definitely.
And being your own God, being your own decision maker, being your own judge, jury, and executioner has weight to it. Just like I talked about in Toxins.
Yeah.
Like it's very much back to that idea of roots and grounding.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up regarding the lyrics. Like, I feel like the theme of sort of self-reflection and of feeling sort of like that opposite of like people like feeling like they're doing the right thing and you're not, also like, the idea of that everybody thinks they're doing the right thing and that conflicting with like you or somebody else not. Right? Everybody's idea of the right thing can conflict, but that self-referential, the sort of callback to Toxins of being your own God, I feel like that's the first self-reference in a while, and I think it's pretty meaningful. Like from Toxins to now, the idea of being like you wanting to be your own, you are your own God to everybody wanting to be their own God, which is very much true. Like we are our own, as you said, judge, jury, and executioner. We're our own harshest critics above anybody else. And that us coming to terms with that and setting ourselves free in a way.
Yeah, especially when it comes to lyrics, we've all heard so many lyrics a million times from different people where it's just like, is this plagiarized? But it's not real. It's just like it's advice, or it's like things people say or whatever. Everybody wants to be their own. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die.
Right.
It's not like
It's not the newest idea.
I heard
but
that in therapy. Like it's from somewhere. I can't tell you what scripture it's from or what
School
like
of thought.
sociologists said it, but it really hit me at a time where it needed to hit me. And I sang it as my chorus.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that, I'm not claiming this is my own idea. I think it's important that we hear it.
Right. I think there's some value in using like euphemisms or adages or like, whatever the old saying may be as some kind of anchoring point, whether it's the hook or not, to other, like, kind of calling back to that songwriting class we took, regardless of perspective, there is a value in attaining the specific, the general through the specific, and in the sense of like using those adages that all of us know and us applying it to our own lives. Like, let me use this adage. Like, sure, you've heard it before. Sure, it's from somewhere else. But I'm applying it to my own situation. You're going to listen to it and apply it to your own situation, and that's why it works.
Yeah, we said before, who are you writing for?
Yeah.
And it's like you're writing for yourself, but also like we do need people to listen to it. And we do need people to engage with. You need an audience.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of playing live is this energy give and take you're doing with an audience.
Definitely.
With a crowd. And oh my God, the difference in playing a song to like 2 people in a basement who are on their phones versus playing to 50 people who are screaming along the lyrics. But it's the same song.
It's the same song.
You know, you might even play it sloppier in front of the bigger crowd or
Intentionally
whatever.
so, yeah, sometimes. It's the looseness, yeah.
Yeah, we're humans having what might be the final human experience.
Yeah.
Besides like dining out. Like that like it
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, no, that's
so I'm just riding it. I'm like, what, you know, whatever I can feel with other people. But yeah, this song especially, it's another one where I could pull this off in a room just acoustic. Don't have to do that whole and instrumental part. But because I was working out by myself with an indefinite timeline in my own room, I decided to do whatever I could at the ending to make this very wholesome sounding score.
Yeah.
And God bless Logic. There's a lot of cool stuff.
It lets
in
you do
there
a whole
for
lot of
dum-dums
stuff.
like me, and ended up sounding really nice. And again with like I had this and YouTube windows open on mixing tutorials simultaneously, but I'm really happy with how things sat. And it was a big learning experience, but also I like listening to it. It's nice. It's not like a project you make in school where it's like, yeah, I made this for a grade, but I won't listen to it.
Right, like
This
it's
sucks.
getting fun.
I think we did that too at one point.
Oh, I've done it.
Yeah,
I've
I think
done
I
it.
had a record production thing where I made some bullshit project for a grade. It's like I would never listen to it. It's not music.
I vividly remember that, and I made a MIDI version, an instrumentation of a MIDI version of a different song, like a song another artist wrote, and I was like, "Yep, this is it." And then that was the grade, and that was it.
And that was it. Yeah, it's like, did you really learn anything from it? I feel like
I learned how to use MIDI, and which is valid, but in terms of songwriting, not necessarily. But like, there comes a value in terms of like sitting down with something, learning how to do it, and applying it to your own craft. And I think, as I referenced prior, like the fourth era, the newest era of Idle Wave, comes with that learning curve of how you're becoming not only an artist but a producer, and like making those two things coincide. And Wild Eyes specifically is that first foray. You're like, oh, I can do this. I can not only record myself, which Emery proves, but you can make a song sound like a fully fleshed out and produced song using the tools you have available to you in terms of like MIDI and acoustic guitar. Yeah,
there's
like
not much. Yeah, there wasn't like. Those are splice drum samples.
And they
that
sound
come in
great.
At the end, there's just a kick and a snare. It's not like a full drum kit.
No,
I'm
you just
dealing
need
with
those two things, though.
16 mic inputs. And
Yeah, dude, the delay,
yeah,
that's all. Yeah,
everything like that was very organic. I have this like $100 Elisa's keyboard that gets everything done. Logic has a lot of stock things in it. There's no bass guitar; it's just synth bass.
Yeah,
and then. There's a little bit of electric guitar, not really. It's like in the post-chorus riff where I'm playing it on the keyboard.
Yeah,
I have like a crazy wah fuzz thing going on underneath it. It's
for texture.
Yeah, it's not. You can't hear it, so it sounds like there's almost no electric guitar on it. Like there's where I come from. Like I'm a guitar player. It's mostly just the acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
is the guitar in it. And then vocally, I had like that room mic, similar to Emery, where I had the mic set up here, and I was sitting on the bed just playing through it. That's like the whole second verse throughout, like till the instrumental section. No, I think I still play. I play with the instrumental. I like add on to it that other like room mic acoustic guitar. Because I'm like, why not? You know, you're recording things, so you're like, this has to end here, this has to end here. It's like, why would this have to end if it's doing the same? It's like
just like lower the volume and
feel to what it is. And this was a room mic vocal thing. I think I did 3 takes of it. And the one that I kept shopping as my like original take before actually mixing it, when I got time to actually mixing it, I used a different one and it just grew on me. They
Yeah.
all worked. It's like they're all going for the same thing.
For sure.
But yeah, the instrumental section, it was just like, I like swimming in something. I like getting lost in something. I know there's people that see jam bands that play for songs that are half hour long, and they like listening to that Tame Impala record, which every song is like feels
Currents?
7 minutes,
Yeah.
even though it's not. So it's like, why not put out something where it's like, I've been putting out songs that are 2 minutes long or 1:50. And
Right,
it's like,
classic,
cool, like,
yeah.
This is how long music should be. It's like, why not just like
Middle of the road.
sit in something, swim in
Yeah.
something, like be in it.
Have an
And-
instrumental section.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the opportunity to present this song to you. I don't think anybody is gonna skip out of it. 'Cause,
No.
Like I think it's all like they're all different parts and it's all very easy. Like it's not like complex music.
No, without a doubt. I don't think it loses the audience at all. And like, yeah, sure, maybe I'm biased, but like the lack of a vocal melody in the instrumental parts is made up by the fact of like a keyboard mimicking a vocal melody.
Right.
So you're still drawn in. You know, that little keyboard part during the instrumental part is our melody that our ears attached to, and then you're brought right back into the last section of the song. So like, I don't think it loses the audience at all.
I'm curious to what people see when they're listening to it.
Yeah. Well,
As somebody who created this idea, like I saw you like with your eyes closed, like bobbing your head to it
Yeah.
before, and I'm like, you don't have to tell me what you saw, but I'm always curious to, like I like creating something where it provokes a thought from
Sure.
someone. That is the coolest thing about creating.
yeah, I think that's what I was sort of alluding to with that songwriting class and attaining the general through the specific, that line and some of the other lines, but specific line of like, everybody wants to be their own God, everybody wants to go to heaven, no one wants to die. Like, you hear those lines and that may mean something to you as the songwriter, but I and I think the rest of the audience can close their eyes and think exactly what that means. And even the other lines, like, nobody wants to do right by me, whatever it may be. Many of us can close our eyes and say, I know exactly what that's like. Mm-hmm. I know exactly who the people that aren't in my corner are thinking about me, or whatever it might be. Like, there's so many general applications to that those specific lyrics that, like, it does the thing. It does the attaining the general through the specific. And I think that's like such a strong point of lyricism, is getting people to relate to your lyric through the lens of you feeling it yourself.
When I was a kid, there was always some songs, especially when we got like iPods and we could have whatever we wanted on it.
Yeah.
Some songs that I like didn't let other people hear.
It's just for you.
Like, yeah, but not like songs I wrote. I'm talking like Dashboard Confessional.
Like, this is for me.
This is what like girls listen to, and me.
Yeah,
or
girls
like,
and me.
Or like Wake Me Up When September Ends. It's
Yep.
not like you're not with your boys like, yo, put on Wake Me Up When September
No, like
Ends.
that's I'm gonna listen to that by my.
Yeah, it's like I'm by myself. Like,
Dude, yeah,
like, and it's just like, as a 12-year-old kid listening to those songs, now I'm like writing songs and putting them out. It's like something that I know I could like hide away with and listen to and have like, peace with. It's like maybe some other people will like that too.
Definitely. I think there are songs that, like, nowadays I don't think about it as a nearly 30-year-old man. Obviously there are songs that I listen to by myself that I'm like, oh, this is not a song I share with other people. Mm-hmm. I just listen to it by myself. But like, there's a coming of age where like you realize there are songs that mean a certain thing to you that you keep to yourself.
Oh yeah.
You don't put on with the boys, and like, this is for me.
I put Bob O'Reilly on with the boys though.
Yeah, always.
Boys, you got to hear this.
Guys, you got to hear this. But like, I think there's a value to songs that you put on with just yourself, and it's almost a letter to your past self, a letter to other people like your past self, that like it's okay to put this on by yourself.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to always share it with other people. Like you can experience a thing with you. You could sit down by yourself and experience it.
When I was making this, that was the thing.
Yeah.
It was like, I wasn't thinking of, friends I've had that have said my 3-minute songs were too long or whatever. I was thinking about me. I was thinking about like, does this sound good? I'm the one mixing it, so I have to hear it a million times. Am I gonna get sick and tired of it? And I love it. Like I'm very proud of it. And I think it's a good, even if this pales in comparison to things I make in the future, it's just like, this is one of the first things I made by myself, wholly, and I take pride in that.
And you should be.
Everybody wants to go to heaven.